If it's your first time here, I'm Lindsay, and I'm here with Jess. We both read the Silmarillion, and we are here to discuss. And Jess has some thoughts she'd like to start off with.
I have a different version.
You do.
Alright, so starting off with the fact that the Eldar, the elves, whenever they came to Middle-earth, they decided they were going to call the dwarves Nogrim, otherwise meaning the stunted people, which essentially means the elves named the dwarves Shorty.
They did.
They were calling the dwarves Shorty in their own language behind the dwarves' backs.
I mean, are we surprised? Because hobbits call humans big people.
Apparently size matters in Middle-earth.
Oh, why?
Which is very sad because neither of us are very tall.
No, I would definitely be a hobbit.
Yeah. The elves would call us either Shorty or halfling. Definitely not the same at all.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it was very important to begin with.
I wanted to talk about, Tolkien just ranting about how he doesn't like allegory.
And then the whole beginning.
He's literally like
All of it.
like, in his letter he was like, not allegory, and then he was like, I don't like allegory. He just kept saying that. I was like, do you now, Tolkien? Do you hate allegory?
Yeah, really, because the whole first part is just Iluvatar, I'm probably pronouncing things terribly,
I
but
pronounce it.
God is God, and then Manwë is Michael, like head angel or Valar of definitely not Tolkien God, and then Melkor, not Lucifer.
Oh no, definitely not. See, I got the God and Lucifer part, don't know angels like that. But when you told me, I was like, that makes sense.
Mostly it's supernatural. That is mostly where it comes from. Like, I read the Bible, but then the supernatural. More or less. Same deal, almost.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah. Also, let's talk about the fact that Tolkien and Lewis started to write the same book.
They did.
Like, the beginning of the Silmarillion and the beginning of Magician's Nephew are the same. We got a song.
Very different directions. Yes.
Well, first of all, there were no singing animals in Tolkien's.
No, just.
But there was a song.
Yes.
There were 2 trees of gold and silver in both. I really think they just started writing a book together, being like, this will be fun, we want to be together. And then they realized, wow, we have so many creative differences.
We are not the same.
Like, do we have to work together? What if instead we wrote our own books and never told anyone about this ever?
Literally, this is what happened. Lewis was like, so Santa Claus, and Tolkien was like, get out. We are not doing this.
No. And Lewis is like, hey, what about Gandalf? Gandalf is Tiri? Is Tari? Yeah, is Tari, I think.
What are you saying?
What Gandalf is.
Oh. Yeah, here's the thing. I've read the whole book and all that, but the pronunciations, like, I didn't even want to go back and read those because I was like, it's just gonna tear me to shreds. It's gonna say you don't know how to say anything.
Yeah, I'm reading his notes on pronunciation now, and I think he just likes to mess with people. Because, like, it's pronounced Edain, but when I read it, I pronounced it Edain. And I thought, like, maybe the pronunciation note should have been in the front.
Yeah, literally, because that's what
we're doing.
That's why I have not read them, because I was like, it's gonna be like, you don't know how to say anything. And I don't need that negativity in my life right now.
Really, I think it was just Tolkien being sassy, because usually AI in the middle of a word in the English language is pronounced A, but he's like, no, it's pronounced I. Why? Because
Yeah.
I took linguistics and you can't tell me no.
I definitely said Idane.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah, because I'm reading what you are talking about right now.
Yes.
And I'm like, he definitely put it, like, he wanted it in the back. He probably, like, left a note for Christopher. It's like, put it in the back. I want everyone to pronounce everything wrong, and then me to correct them.
Or Christopher had the same sense of humor as his dad.
Probably.
I wonder if Lewis had any kids.
A few moments later.
Naturally.
While I'm looking this up, another thing I greatly appreciate is the part where he said he had many spies, many of which were birds, because
Yes.
just
Because
birds,
why, Lindsay?
birds are bad, they're evil, they are spies.
Makes sense. Alfred Hitchcock agrees.
He had 2 stepsons, so he never had, like,
Huh.
I think probably through the marriage he had. Obviously through marriage.
Nope, they just appeared on this step one day, so I called them stepsons.
Stepson. It's perfect. What if they made the Silmarillion into a movie?
It would just be like a whole pile of fantasy vignettes. That's
Yeah.
what it would be.
I feel like I've seen like a fan cast for it.
Yeah. You would fall in love with whoever plays Baron.
Yes, I already have.
You know that was like Tolkien's love letter to his wife, I believe. Yeah, I think it's on their tombstones. It's on their tombstone, Luthien and Baron.
That's so cute. I love, like, I've seen so many drawings, and I just pretend that I am her, even though I'm not.
And you
I
could
do
be.
not look like her, but that's so cute.
Isn't it? I want to do that someday.
Right on your tombstone.
Have something cute from my writing on my tombstone.
Okay.
Yeah, we have the gift of men.
Yeah, I was like, you just gonna call that a gift? Your gift is death.
That's what the Numenorians said at one point. They said gift.
I know. That's
No
what I'm
thanks.
saying. They were like, hey, we have a gift. It's called dying.
I'm just minding my own business.
I'll put up the meme.
suddenly- Yes, please put up the meme. Neat. Neat.
I'm just looking at like the Silmarillion memes because I forgot about what I was going to talk about because it's been a wild day. Fëanor, probably not pronouncing that right.
Fëanor.
Fëanor? I just said Fëanor, like fee fi fo fum.
The big angry Joel boy.
Yes. There was this tweet that I saw on Tumblr that was like, stop asking people their zodiac signs to judge them. Instead, ask them which son of Fëanor they had a crush on. Personally, I didn't want any of them.
Me either. Let me
if
take
I
a
had to
look.
choose, I'd go with Maglor
Yeah, let
because
me.
he was a good singer.
I have all the family trees.
He seemed the most rational to me too,
Oh my
but
God.
also none of them were. They were all messed up.
Maedros. Wait, no. There was a note on the pronunciation. DH is TH. So Maethos.
No, did not pronounce that right at all.
Yeah. Why would we? But wasn't he the one who was hung on the tower and lost his hand?
Yeah, I knew you'd like that one.
What? Your face. But like he for a time was like, what if instead we don't? And then he was like,
Yeah.
all right,
He just gave in.
all right, let's go wild. All right, boys.
His brother said, "Aren't you tired of being nice?"
A few moments later.
I literally, like, every description, they were like, they were tall, like, how did he describe them? It's been a couple weeks since I read it. It's like,
Fair.
yeah.
Literally every time there's a lady person or even a guy, literally anyone, they're all fair.
Yeah,
I don't
they were
even think
fair.
fair has a meaning anymore.
I know. It was like tall and fair, every single one. And I'm like, this is why I'm a hobbit.
Yeah, we are short and ready to party, I guess. But like specifically the like kind of rustic Irish party feel, like Green Dragon.
Yeah.
We don't want to go to a rave.
No.
We want to go have a pint at the Green Dragon.
We're not going to a rave. We're not going to a frat party. We are going to dance and sing on tables with Mary and Pippin. Okay? Oh, I saw something. It was like, imagine Glorfindel, which I'm also probably pronouncing wrong.
Who isn't?
If he was part of the Fellowship, like imagine him be like saying to Gandalf, like, "You want to take on the Balrog?"
Like, really? You want to do that? Okay. Go ahead, man. I actually wonder if Gandalf having had the Ring of Fire was what helped him kind of not immediately die to the Balrog.
I would assume.
It would make sense. Knowing Tolkien, everything is tied together. The Of Men chapter, meaning everything goes downhill from here.
I know, it's so funny. The Of Men chapter is like, well, here's where things get
hecked up.
And it's also one of the shorter chapters. It's like, of men, let's not talk about them.
Yeah, it's rough. They appeared. They're gonna have their own age. Why didn't hobbits get an age?
Right.
All to themselves.
Very rude. Hobbits are like, they don't get a ring, they don't get an age, they get nothing. They get second breakfast. That's it.
I mean, really, isn't that winning?
It is.
Like, every elf king was a hermit at heart. Like,
yeah.
all of them. Thingol.
Thingol, yes.
Thingol.
Thingol.
I'm sure I'm not pronouncing right, Thingol.
It's okay, that's how I said it reading it. I was like, Thingol.
He goes to his wife and he's like, honey, can you just make a magic wall around us so I don't have to deal with anyone?
Which, honestly, don't blame him.
I don't either. And then, I think it was
isolate like Thingol.
I think it was, Turgon who made his house in a, like, basin surrounded by cliffs and stuff, because he's like, I want no one to know that I have gone, where I have gone, or how to reach me. The eagles are okay for long distance calls, but everything else, stay away.
I liked him too for that.
I did too. Hero of the pandemic, really.
Truly, that's what I'm saying. Self-isolate the way they did. Just be like, no.
I bet there were no cases.
I feel like we've barely even talked about the Silmarillion.
We really haven't. I don't know what happened. Well, let's see. There were lots of loss of limbs. I've noticed there were a lot of hands that were lost. Tolkien must have hated hands because Beren got his bit off. And then Maedhros got his, like, cut off or shot off. I forget.
Cut off.
Cut off, yeah. I think it was cut off, yeah.
I remember.
And then Frodo later, he loses fingers.
Yeah.
Really
He
his
just
hand.
said, you know what? Who needs these?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna read this sentence from this page I turned to. Then the lust of the dwarves was kindled to rage by the words of the king, and they rose up about him and laid hands on him and slew him as he stood. Tolkien's favorite word was slew. He'd just be like, and then they slew him. They slew him as well.
There was just a lot of murder that happened.
There
Oh,
was.
I didn't. Meglin, the Turgon's nephew.
Yes, that guy.
They made a big deal about him being bad, and then he didn't really do much about it.
I know. I was like, first I was a little bit in love with him because they were like tall, dark hair. I was like, I'm listening. And then I fell out of love with him because they were like, ooh, he's evil, and I was like, well, like if he's just like a little bit, like, you know, it's fine. Yeah, like if it's like bad boy but like secretly has a heart of gold type deal. Like,
It wasn't.
no, and so that's why I was like, never mind, I like Baron.
He didn't. Meglin didn't really do anything.
I was like waiting. I was like, they like hint at it. Tolkien hints at it.
Yeah.
And
Well, Christopher was involved too.
Christopher. Chris and
John.
That's what I was trying to say. They're just like hinting at it, and I'm like, all right, when's the big bad gonna come? And then it's just like, I am angsty. Like, okay.
Yeah, he like spoke out against what's his face. I'm sorry, there are so many names, and I'm good at life.
There was definitely a few times where I had to check the index of names to be like, all right, who did what now?
Yeah, he spoke up against Turin, and made things problematic for him. But like, Turin wasn't great and married his sister. So,
I hate
that's part of it. Oedipus. That was literally Oedipus from. I forget. It was a Greek tragedy. I forget who wrote it, like Aeschylus or something.
We talked a lot about Oedipus in my psychology class.
Well, yeah, that. But literally, it was Oedipus. This guy thought he was so great, lost track of his family, became a great king, ended up marrying a member of his family. It led them both to their deaths.
Oh, it was so gross.
It's the same.
She was like, I feel so connected to him. Like, I don't think she said exactly that. She was like, something about him, like, was just comforting. I was like, he's your brother.
Yeah, it was shouldn't have happened, but like,
Tolkien, why?
Immediately whenever she came and she was like, oh, this guy, and I was like, oh no.
Because there was the other guy that was in love with her too. I was like, hey, maybe him.
Yeah, and he was better.
Yeah.
Too. He was like, maybe don't be so arrogant, and Turin's like, maybe I do.
But I like being arrogant.
What if I just do whatever I want?
What if I don't think about others and I marry my sister?
Oh, and of course, the whole Noldor and such leaving because they took something, the Silmarils, from the tree, and then they had to leave the place that was not heaven.
Yeah.
No!
See, I didn't get all of the biblical allegory because like I said, never read the Bible. But I was like, something's up here.
Tolkien and his jewelry.
Big fan of jewels.
Is there anything else that Middle-earth fights over other than some form of jewelry?
No. Food, maybe.
Food, maybe. That's just the hobbits.
Beer.
That's also the hobbits.
Yeah, but I feel like the dwarves might get involved.
And maybe Rohan. I think
maybe
Rohan.
yeah.
I feel like the fun ones are not the ones who are in the Silmarillion. Like the elves and the Númenóreans. They're like, you're cool, you're keeping the place together. But the hobbits, the dwarves, and the Rohirrim, they're the fun ones.
Yeah, they really are.
Hanging out, having a good time. They're like, we're here for a good time, not a long time.
Those are
Ripped to elves, but we're different.
Pretty much. That's basically what I'm sure Pippin said to Legolas one time. We're here for a good time, not a long time. Rip to you, but we're different. And then Legolas said, no, rip to you.
Legolas is like, I'm having a fun time. Gimli's like, when's the last time you could ever get drunk? And he's like, I'm tired.
I know.
And I'm reading all of this about his world that's mythology from many places.
I mean, props to him for creating mythology, even if it does have biblical allegory in it. And it makes a great hat. Example.
I'm just gonna leave it there for a minute. Yeah, there was so much allegory. Also, like, I thought there would be more about Sauron, because everyone online was sassing him, and I'm like, he was in it for 5 seconds.
Everyone was, yeah, that's like the meme I sent you. They're like, he was so hot, he was a twink. I was like,
He didn't do anything. He showed up at Numenorian's doorstep, said, knock, knock, would you like to be heathens?
Pretty much. And
we're the same. This should be the little outline pictures you put on the thumbnail.
Yeah.
This specifically. We are the same.
Thumbnail. Yeah, I mean, I definitely expected more from Sauron and did not get that. And
I was ready. I was ready for more.
Yeah.
Just of Sauron, of I don't even know what I was expecting, actually. I was kind of hoping we might see more of, like, the people who we would know later in the books. But we got Aragorn through the Numenorians, and we got Gandalf because he's been alive forever.
And Elrond.
Sorry. But we met Elrond, too.
Yep. And obviously Galadriel.
Oh, yeah, Galadriel, who's been alive forever.
Right.
Just saying, but Tolkien has been drinking his respect women juice. Like, every woman he had was more powerful than any man, pretty much.
Pretty much. And he let women fight, unlike someone we know.
Yeah. Oh, the battlefield is no place for
Lucy's literally 8 years old, like, I'm brave enough. You literally just gave me a dagger and you're not gonna let me fight? And Santa's like, no. You're just a little baby girl child. And if they were like, you're just a little child, I would have been like, yeah, but it was like, battlefield's no place for women. And then, sorry, I'm going on a rant now, but then Susan doesn't do anything but like cry throughout the books, which we know he didn't like Susan. Like,
yeah.
He lets Lucy fight in The Horse and His Boy, but if I recall correctly, she only did archery and she had to stay back with the archers, kind of like Susan did in the movie. She didn't even in the movie. She was on the battlefield, but for one part, like where she was just back with the archers, that was like Lucy the whole time. And then Edmund just beheads someone, and I'm like, yeah, of course, naturally. But Lucy should have been able to do more. And he describes Lucy as very like boyish, so that's why she could fight.
And also, like, it's just done. Well, frankly, none of them should have been fighting, because at that point, Peter was what, 12, 13?
Yeah, that's what I was telling my dad when we were watching the movie. I was like, I know the actor's like 17, 18 here. I don't know how old he is, but he was an older teenager. But in the book, he's 13, because it's Lucy's 8, Edmund's 10, Susan's 12, and Peter's 13. Alright, we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, we're not great. We came to talk about the Silmarillion. We did a little bit of that.
We definitely discussed it enough. It's like, you can't go too in detail because there's, I feel like, a decent amount of people. Well, I mean, like, if you haven't read it, why would you watch this? Like, I mean, unless you just don't want to read it and you want to get information from us instead. But that's not going to be very helpful. But I mean...
Yeah, we're not helpful.
There's a lot of, like, intertwining stories in the Silmarillion. It's like Love Actually.
Is it, though?
Because Hugh Grant's not in it. But...
Hugh Grant plays Baron.
No, Baron's more attractive than him, I've decided.
Hugh Grant plays one of Feanor's people.
One of his sons?
Yeah.
Maethros.
Whose name we learned to pronounce today.
Yeah, honestly, we can't go into too much detail about it, I feel, because there's so many people, there's so many little stories, and
we don't know how to pronounce any of it.
But to surmise, in summation, it was interesting. It was interesting, and honestly, going into this, I was like, I did not think I'd understand anything because the way people talk about it, and it was not as hard to understand as people made it out to be.
Yeah, don't. If anyone out there is thinking of reading it, don't be intimidated.
Yeah.
If we got it, you can get it too.
I have ADHD, and I got it. So
yeah,
I was able to read it.
Not as hard. It's basically like reading any mythology from anywhere in the world, which is what he wanted it to be, I think.
Yeah.
And it inspired me. I'm gonna write some mythology, maybe tonight. With Lindsay as my beta reader.
Yay! Yeah.
Yay, my friend gave me more work.
Yay. No, it's fine. I just wanted to say, like you said, don't be intimidated. If you need to take it slow, take it slow. And another thing, there is the whole appendices? Appendices?
I'm pretty sure. Appendices.
Well, those are in the back, and there's an index too, with all of the different names, because there are a lot of different people. And that is helpful if you get confused. So don't be intimidated. And now we are balancing these on our heads, and we're gonna say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.